The material we know as glass was first created over 5,000 years ago. Throughout the ages, glass has been prized for its remarkable properties and regarded as a valuable and even precious material, until, that is, the latter half of the 20th century. As recently as 1950, most of the glass food and beverage containers produced in the U.S. were reused or recycled. But by 1970, nearly all of those billions of bottles and jars ended up in a landfill. Despite the enormous amounts of material, energy, and labor embodied in every glass container, virtually all of it was buried underground, lost forever. Fortunately, this picture is changing. In the U.S., the glass recycling rate has rebounded to 30%, though in other parts of the world, it's well over 90%. We're doing better, but we've still got a long way to go. The average American, every man, woman, and child, uses 80 pounds of glass every year, glass that could be recycled over and over again. But why recycle glass? What's the point? Well, there are many, but here are 4 of the most important. Recycling glass means less material in our landfills, lengthening their life, which means fewer new landfills. Making new glass out of existing glass conserves raw materials and eliminates the waste and environmental impact of mining. Because glass melts at a lower temperature than its raw materials, making new glass out of existing glass uses 30% less energy. Consider this: recycling just 1 glass bottle saves enough energy to power a 23-watt compact fluorescent for 16 hours. And making new glass out of existing glass dramatically reduces greenhouse gas emissions. Every ton of recycled glass means 600 pounds of carbon dioxide is not released into our atmosphere. To be effectively reused, recycled glass must be converted into what's known as furnace-ready cullet, a process in which contaminants are removed and the material is sized to meet the needs of the new user. Because glass is heavy and costly to transport, processing facilities need to be located reasonably close to the source of the recycled material. Despite strong demand for furnace-ready cullet, there was virtually no glass recycling in Kansas City or much of the surrounding region. There was no glass recycling because there was no local processor. There was no local processor because there was no glass recycling. The folks at Boulevard Brewing Company finally got tired of being part of the problem. So, with the support of local businesses and community organizations, they came up with a solution: Ripple Glass. Ripple Glass had to do 2 things at the same time: create a robust metro-wide collection network and construct a facility to process the recycled glass into furnace-ready cullet. Before we visit the plant, let's take a look at Ripple's innovative collection efforts. Those efforts began in late 2009 when these big purple bins, hosted by a variety of civic and environmentally minded businesses, began to appear in parking lots all around Kansas City. Within a few months, over 100 containers were strategically placed throughout the metro area. A public awareness campaign helped spread the news, and the bins were soon being filled with pickle jars, beer bottles, wine bottles. Ripple accepts all types of glass food and beverage containers. When a bin is full, the host notifies Deffenbaugh Industries, which dispatches a truck to pick it up and deliver its contents to the Ripple plant. Each bin fills up at least once a month, some more than once a week. Because businesses like bars and restaurants use a lot of glass, Ripple and Deffenbaugh teamed up to launch a commercial recycling program. Small, dedicated glass dumpsters are now available, resulting in the recycling of large amounts of glass previously destined for the landfill. And because Kansas City wasn't the only community in the region to suffer from the absence of a processor, Ripple accepts recycled glass containers from cities and towns throughout Missouri, Kansas, and other neighboring states. The collection of glass would be of no use without a way to process those bottles and jars into high-quality cullet. So in 2009, Ripple Glass constructed a state-of-the-art facility to do just that. When recycled glass arrives at the plant, it's weighed and deposited in large outdoor bunkers. Processing begins when a loader scoops up a bucket full of glass, about a ton at a time, and drops it into this hopper. The glass flows into the primary sorting area where strong magnets, air separation technology, and the human eye are used to remove large contaminants. The glass is then fed into a roll crusher and broken into pieces less than 2 inches in size. When necessary, these pieces pass through a dryer to remove excess moisture. The material is now ready for optical sorting. This sophisticated computer-driven machine uses beams of light to identify glass and non-glass materials. Every second, the equivalent of 15 containers flow past the unblinking eye of this amazing instrument. When a non-glass object is spotted, the machine fires a strong pulse of air to eject it from the stream. The glass then proceeds to another optical sorter programmed to look for both contaminants and specific colors, in this case, brown or amber glass. When it sees amber, it again uses a quick blast of air to divert it into a separate stream. This amber cullet goes to make new glass bottles, including those used by Boulevard Brewing. The remaining glass is fed into a machine that crushes it to the consistency of coarse sand. Every day, several trucks, each bearing 25 tons of furnace-ready cullet, make their way to a nearby fiberglass plant. There, the cullet is melted and converted into insulation, helping to create more energy-efficient buildings. Ripple's advanced processing technology results in the recovery of more than 95% of the material received at the plant and produces superior furnace-ready cullet, virtually pure glass, ready for a second chance. Since Ripple Glass appeared on the scene, Kansas City's glass recycling rate has climbed from around 3% to almost 20% and continues to increase. We've made tremendous progress, but with your help, we can do much more. If you haven't started recycling your glass, visit our website to find a location near you. If you're already participating, thank you, and please help spread the word. More recycled glass means a better, cleaner, brighter future for all of us. Remember, even a small act can create a big ripple.